Welcome to Let's Talk VO, live here on VO Radio. Interact with us by texting 970-682-3424. That's 970-682-3424. Or use the Ask a Question button located on your radio player window. You can also email us using the icon on the apps. Now, it's time for Let's Talk VO on VO Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk VO on VO Radio from the cold blizzard blown northeast where I am in Connecticut. I guess all the way from the mid-Atlantic all the way up to Maine and into Nova Scotia. We've got a lovely blizzard going on. The winds have died down from what I can tell. The snow is finished, but we've got a lot of snow on the ground. Big drifts, but we've got a couple of people from Canada here, and they're probably used to this. It's not a big deal to them. Anyway, welcome into the show this afternoon, Monday afternoon. And we have with us, of course, Anthony Reese, Stacey Barrow, Bev Standing, and the inimitable Deb Monroe. And yeah, there she is. So what we'd like you to do is join us on the live Tubi page. I believe you go to voradioonline.com. Is that correct? And click through to that. Yes, indeed. And we also have, of course, ways to talk to us. We would like you to talk to us, and we can talk back to you. We have a Zoom Live button on the website, and you can go there and join us. And you don't have to show your face, or you can show your face. We are on the live Tubi page, so we would like you to, of course, show your face, and we'll put a face to the name. We also would like you to contact us by text. You can do that at 970-682-3424. Email, the button on the VO radio player, the app. You can use the info icon, then email icon on the app, and email direct ask@voradioonline.com. So, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Yay! Okay. No, but everybody here has not been affected by the blizzard, I would presume, except for me, right?
We're always in a blizzard.
Well, yes,
Right.
you're north of the line, the border there.
Oh, and I'm so sorry to say that I'm having
Southern
a gorgeous
Cantaloupe.
California day today. I'm overalls. I had to take my jacket off, you know. I'm sorry that it's so beautiful here today, but I will
Rub it
enjoy it
in.
for you.
Well, thank you for the weather report out in California. Like it ever changes, right? It
Well,
rains once in a while.
It did last week, but I'm bringing the
Last
sunshine.
week.
Yeah, it was an anomaly, but I'm bringing the sunshine to
Okay, well,
our
thank you.
hour here today.
We appreciate that. So we also have on Wednesday Mark Grau, the inimitable Mark Grau, coming up on the 5 o'clock VO radio online thing called called VO Radio.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk VO. I'm sorry. I hear the wind blowing, and I'm hoping the electricity does not go out. The wind just.
Oh, I know. I hope so for you.
That's what distracted me. Like, okay, here we go again. Anyway, Mark's coming up. He is all things animation, video games, and just a wacky good time whenever Mark's around. He's a fun fella, and we invite you to tune in to talk with Mark on Wednesday. Now, why don't we do the here's my take. Can we get into that, Anthony?
Yeah, good idea.
Move that along.
Hi, y'all. Kathy Verduin here, VO veteran and audiobook narrator with Sound Certified Home Studio. You can also find me on audible.com or check out my commercials on Jazzy Vegetarian. If you'd like a mentor, email me at kathyv@voicealive.net or go to my website at www.voicealive.net. www.voicealive.net.
Every day in the voiceover industry, things arise that we all have an opinion on.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Even our panelists here at Let's Talk VO have thoughts and comments and suggestions with regards to today's voiceover industry.
I have a question for you. Are we really friends? I mean, because friends can tell each other anything if we have our friends hats on, right?
Now it's time for this week's installment of Here's My Take on Let's Talk VO. On Let's Talk VO.
All right, we're going to share a topic that's on our minds this week. So who would like to go first? Who's going to be the first victim here? Anybody have
I'm gonna chime in this
Okay,
morning,
good.
this afternoon, tonight. I don't even know. Don't worry about what time it is. Don't wear a watch. There's no the So I wear a night guard, and I have to have a much more complicated night guard than I've had in the past. So I went and did all the stuff, and then I had the fitting, and he puts it in my mouth. And deja vu from my very first training days with Ellie Ray Hennessy with a cork in my mouth, learning how to speak with something in your mouth. Well, I put a top and a bottom thing that has these claws that are going to stop my mouth from opening. And I started speaking right away to the dentist, and he went, "How can you do that?" And I'm a voice actor. So thank you, Ellie.
That's a positive thing. That's a fun one. Stacy, you had your hand up as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, also, I just want to say I'm excited because in the next segment we have Jen Rudin, casting director, coming up, and I'm so excited to have her on VIP on a Monday. So don't forget, like, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for the next segment too.
Oh,
It's kind of different because we have that on a Monday.
yeah.
So on my mind today is marketing stuff. Like when you're new, you feel like you do so much more marketing than you do voice acting stuff, you know? And I'm here to tell you that's completely normal. Like when you first start out, you feel like everything is lopsided. Like you got into this so you could be behind the mic, you like performing, you like character work, you love, voice acting all over the place, whether it's commercial, whatever it is, and you don't feel like you're doing any voiceover. This is what you're doing. You're behind the scenes emailing, networking, you're on social media, you're doing all those things, and you're like, when do I actually get to act and be behind the mic? So you're planting seeds, and that's what it is. And it might take years and years or whatever, but your efforts will pay off. And that's what I want to tell you. It will balance out. It won't always feel so lopsided. So you're doing all the right things. You're not crazy. You're doing the right stuff.
Excellent.
Who's next, Deb?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. I was torn between two today, but I think this one is something we don't talk about often. So understand your systems enough, especially your computer system, to know the difference between what is application memory, what is storage. Because, I'm a busy mind, so I have 5,000 windows open at all times, for example. And I got a system message saying your application memory. And so if we don't understand what the hell it's saying to us, it's very hard to know what to take care of. And so we work with almost a gigabyte a day, folks. And so we fill up our memory, our system memories very fast. We fill up our hard drives very fast. And I think it's important to know that your hard drives will expire. Your hard drives have like a 10-year lifespan if you're lucky. I have hard drives from Get Mic'd, and we can't ever retrieve those files again because they can't be fixed.
Is that
Simple as that.
SSD, solid state?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
they
one
only
thing
do-
Mark taught me was at the studio, because he's dealing with major gigabytes a day and a lot of big jobs and stuff at the studio. They have 3 15 terabyte drives that mirror each other, so that if one drive goes, you still have that backup. And I had it mirrored on Google Drive and mirrored on a hard drive. Well, they both screwed up. And even though you can retrieve stuff after 30 days with your Google Drive, that's the only fault folder they couldn't find, was the master folder.
Right.
So I'm talking 10 years of work. And so it's just really important we understand not just our systems as in recording, but your system as in your computer and how you store files, where you store files, how often you should store files. As I said before, I'm a voice whore. I hoard everything. So I have everything from the very first day. But that doesn't mean that Mac system's going to work now. So keep up with it, regurgitate it to another drive after, keep putting all your files to the next drive as they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what they're doing. It's a very important investment to save your ass.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Backing
And
up.
definitely, I would tell people also to piggyback on that real quick. Don't forget about the iCloud backup storage companies out there. I use eDrive quite a bit, and iDrive and eDrive, some of those offer you a couple, like 5,000 terabytes and whatever. You can, there's amazing what you can get out through iCloud now. So to take advantage of backing up to the cloud as well as having redundant mirrored backups, like you said. Here's my take is basically just short and sweet and to the point. I was working with somebody this morning on audition reviews. I've had quite a few of those come in, people taking me up on the audition reviews from 2025. And one of the things me and her talked about was the time she spends getting prepared for the audition itself. You don't want to just rip and read the copy, go over it, and think you read the specs and jump on the mic and lay down a couple of takes and move on. It's not a numbers game. Put some quality time on the front end. You put more time in preparation for the audition than just laying down auditions. Yeah, you want to be able to take a bunch of wild card cuts and all that like Deb loves to do, and you want to be able to just let yourself go, but be prepared, know where you're going. You can't even start a job like painting your house without preparing what you're going to need to get prepared, prepping to clean and paint and all the goodies that come with it. Shrubs outside, cutting back shrubs from the walls, spackling, cleaning up the wood that has rotten, pressure cleaning stuff. So the reality is the same thing applies. And the reason I'm playing with that is her husband is a painter. And so just like your husband uses the time to prepare before he goes to the house to paint, prep and think about what you're going to do during the recording part of your audition. So prep your auditions is what I would throw in there. So there we go.
Mine is more sort of a personal thing, but it applies to a lot of people who are in creative businesses. ADHD. I was diagnosed at 57. Yeah,
All of us, pretty much.
pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, when I was in radio, it was like my wife pointing people ADHD. This is before I was even diagnosed. She was, that guy must be ADHD. But it is very common with creative people, and my therapist told me that. If you're having trouble getting organized and staying organized, find a system of some kind or some kind of a outside method that will help you. I came across a Rudi, as they would say in Japanese, Rudi Ohama. And she lives in Tokyo, and she's built quite a business, young woman. She's learned 4 languages, but she's severely ADHD. I mean, she literally has stickers all over her house to identify where she puts stuff. Anyway, she devised a system that she's selling, of course, called Kaizen, which is a philosophy in Japan of incremental steps, taking things one step, little step at a time, and eventually it all becomes a big thing. And so her system does that. Now, that's not going to be right for everybody, but just encouraging people, and I'm pitching it because I'm going to get an affiliate link percentage from it. But it's just an idea that if you're having trouble staying focused, find a therapist, find somebody. If you aren't officially diagnosed, but you think you have, go get checked out. Have them do the test. It's all written and oral, and they can pretty much identify, yeah, you're neurodivergent, and get some help for it, because it
Many
will
of the
make you
coaches can help with that too, Peter, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of us are ADHD, so we've had to
Yeah.
learn how to deal with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great advice.
And
Yeah, I think
I'm sorry, one second, Anthony, but real
Yeah.
quick on this. I had a student, and I couldn't figure out why he had one read. High energy. All he could do is this, and it's like this. Here's a piece of copy, very subtle, very quiet, very sophisticated piece of copy, and all he could. Yes, try the new perfume today. Instead of try the new perfume today, whatever the quiet emotion was supposed to be. And I found out after 6 months, he has ADHD. He's on Adderall, and he couldn't do anything else but that. So he went off the Adderall. His wife was happy that I pointed it out. I was like, "You're on Adderall?" I was wondering why we weren't making any progress after 6 months. And he went off the Adderall, and as soon as he did that, he could access that range of emotion, and he was much better and graduated, so to speak, and went on to do whatever he's doing. So I encourage people to check that out.
And this
Good
is
idea.
not medical advice for those of you voice
Oh
actors.
yes,
Yeah.
It's not medical advice.
And that's
This is
what
not medical
the
advice.
disclaimer is for, so I can hear my legal guys now going, what are you guys doing, man? Giving
It was
all
only
bunch
as directed for use anywhere but your eyes.
Hey, listen, our our VIP, if you want to call it that, is Jen Rudin, and she's coming up the next block. And we're going to take a quick break, Peter, if you don't mind, because
No, I'm sorry.
we're going to bring her out in the beginning of this next block, and then we're going to look on the backside of that, doing a couple of the listener emails that have come in, and a couple of from last week, whatever have you. So let's do that. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yep.
It's great.
All right, great. Let's take a quick break, and Jen Rudin's going to join us. Sit tight.
VO Radio is sponsored by
In the world, a voice, pardon me. In the world, a voice, everything is changing. It's time to release your inner storyteller. The monster, the diva, the comedian, the mock announcer, the character, and so much more. To charm, seduce, ignite, and excite. Let's play. GetMiked.com.
Hey everyone, Nava President Tim Friedlander here with your Nava News Minute Update. We're looking forward to accomplishing a lot in 2026 and offering more benefits to Nava members and the voiceover community as a whole. Coming up, our annual State of Voiceover survey is opening soon. This annual survey provides valuable data-driven insights into our industry, and the results are incredibly important for all of us. Please take the time to fill out the survey when you're able and share with your fellow voice actors. All answers will remain anonymous. Nava has new health insurance offerings for Nava members, and they are available now. Nava members have access to plans that cover themselves and their spouses and dependents, as well as vision, dental, and even pet insurance. Check out our new plans on our website, navavoices.org/healthcare. The third annual Nava Gala took place on December 12th, and it was a huge success. We honored industry leaders, including our Icon Award winner Bill Farmer, and raised over $80,000 for the Nava Foundation to help fund scholarships, legal aid, education, and more. Thank you to all of you who were part of it. We're continuing to work to make this industry a better place for all of us. Thank you for all of your support. To find out more info on Nava, visit our website, navavoices.org.
Street Smart Coaching.
That's what you get at VO 101.
Hi, I'm Anthony Reese, 35-year veteran, casting director, producer, and voiceover coach here at VO 101.
Whether a beginner or veteran voice talent,
You'll find everything you need to get your career started or take your career to the next level. Training, website design, YouTube channel creation, voiceover demos, video demos, a free evaluation, and even a free training area.
get Street Smart Coaching at VO 101.
That's vo101.com.
VO101.com.
Are you a Canadian voice actor looking for more than just behind the mic? The Canadian Association of Voice Actors, known as CAVA, is a member-driven nonprofit organization that educates, advocates, and supports voice actors in Canada. And we want you to join us. As a member, you'll enjoy exclusive benefits like access to extended health coverage, advocacy in the age of AI, and a library of educational resources. Visit us at www.cavavoices.org because your voice matters.
Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. Interact with the show by texting 970-682-3424 or email your question to the show using the app email icon, radio player window, ask a question button, or send an email to ask@voradioonline.com. Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. It's here for you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome home to VO Radio Online. And as our lovely voice, Stacey Barrow, just said, email, text us, join us. You guys can be in the Zoom room. You can ask questions. There's lots of opportunity. And we have some pretty special guests sometimes that you want to be asking questions to. Let me tell you that right now. Before we get to that special guest that we happen to have today, I wanted to talk about the survey. Are you guys filling out the survey? Go to the website, VO Radio Online, and there is a survey there. What better way can we learn this industry if not for a survey? Nava has one as well right now. VO Radio has one. So make sure you go and check it out and help us out so we know what you want to hear, what you want to listen for, because it's really all about you. Please don't forget that. We're all talents, all of us almost individually here, but you are as well. And we need to make sure that we're on the right page of what you're looking for. After all, this is VO Radio and it's here for you. I think I heard that in a tag somewhere. Anyway. We
And by
have
the
a
way,
very
just to let everybody know, our block's over, just in case you didn't hear the
Yeah,
dinner
so the dinner bell rang, so it's time to go eat. Or no, if you hear that magic bell, that's us trying to stay on time. And remember, we're all talkers. It's very hard, especially me. We all know that. Anyway, guys, we have a very, very special VIP guest today. I am so excited to introduce to you all our VIP guest for today, Jen Rudin. Hit that sweeper, Mr. Anthony. I almost called you Tony. I don't know why.
Tony, you can call me Tony. Just don't call me
Okay,
late for
Tony,
dinner.
you take it.
We're going
Take
to
it,
jump
Tony.
into
Take it, take it.
VIP. I wanted people to know that we are going to be using the encore of the show again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, but we are live on the website and on YouTube, as everybody knows. Unfortunately, as Tony Romano and others have emailed letting me know, the show is not broadcasting over the app and over the website because of the technical snow problems, apparently, Cam.
Oh.
So they're having problems back east, apparently, at our broadcast partner because the encoder is looping over and over. So something is going on again because that whole snowstorm back in where they're at back east. But we are streaming live as we speak over YouTube, Hi All You Lives, and over the VO2B's Live Tubies page. So we are going to be broadcasting this as a full radio broadcast tomorrow, as well as we are simulcasting it right now live. So we are live over YouTube and we are live over the website, but the radio show itself will not be until tomorrow's encore. So with that said, let's go ahead and get going on our VIP.
This week's VIP guest interview is brought to you by
the darkest hour when the night unfolds. I'm a lioness ready to take control.
Hi, I'm Bev Standing, a voice actor in Canada, and I started my journey in the VO world in 2008 and have not looked back.
No one can hold me back.
If you want to talk to me personally about coaching, just message me at bev@bevstanding.com. Or you can contact me through my website, bevstanding.com.
No second guessing.
VO Radio. Here's a VO Radio testimonial.
I love that tip from the voiceover hip chick. Do one new thing every day. So I wrote it in this week. It's Tuesday. So I'm going to try to do one new thing. There's so much to do in voiceover. Earl Thomas, a voice, creating vocal paradise for your exact needs.
Real feedback from VO Radio listeners. Have something you want to share with our VO Radio audience? Use the self-record button located on the listener contribution page. VO Radio, it's here for you. Thanks for listening to VO Radio, internet radio for the voiceover community. VO Radio takes you up close and personal with some of the leading experts, trainers, coaches, and gurus within the voiceover industry. Now it's time for this week's VIP guest here on Let's Talk Live and VO Radio.
All right. Well, welcome back to the show. And we have our VIP guest, Jen Rudin, and she's going to tell us about her history. And Jen, you can really share anything you want to about your journey. And she is a casting director, author, and I have your book in my living room. And it's not just sitting on my coffee table. I read it and I enjoy it.
Oh, good.
Yes. And I really appreciated your real world insights on what it's like to be a casting director and all your humor we've throughout there. So tell us anything you'd like to share with us today, Jen.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, thanks so much for having me on the show. It's lots of energy in the afternoon. Yes, I grew up in New York City. I was a professional child actor in the 1980s, and actually doing voiceover was my favorite thing to do when I was a young actor because there was no hair and makeup, and it felt like there was a little less pressure in the audition room. But that being said, I found auditions to be a very challenging situation to be in all the time. And so I knew pretty early on, around age 12, that I wanted to be a casting director. And on the other side of the table, I had an epiphany at an after school special. There were two groups of kids, group A and group B. And I looked at the casting director and I thought, well, she has got a great job. She's facilitating this very stressful situation. She's making us all feel comfortable. And that's probably what I'll do. And so that's what happened. Didn't quite happen when I was 12. I did go to college, quit my professional acting career, interned for some casting directors during college. And then after college, auditioned again, spent some years at a talent agency, and have pretty much been in the animation and voiceover casting space for 2 decades. I spent 7 years at the Walt Disney Company, 5 at Walt Disney Animation Studios. I was there during the transition from the hand-drawn to the 3D and the transition from Broadway actors voicing their roles to celebrities. So it was an interesting time to be there. And then I spent 2 years overseeing all the casting for Disney Broadway. So The Lion King, Little Mermaid, Mary Poppins. I'm still off book on all those shows. And then from 2009 until 2020, I had Jen Rudin casting, which we did a lot of voiceover casting, but also pilot season and live action. Spent 4 years as a talent agent at ICM and APA during the COVID times. And then in May of 2024, reopened Jen Rudin casting. And that's it. So that's my life. That's the summary.
That's it.
That's
like
it. I forgot to mention.
Well, thanks for coming, Jen.
I forgot
Appreciate it.
I forgot to mention.
Hold up that book. Hold up that book a little closer to the
Yes.
camera. Get a good shot of everybody out there watching.
Yeah, so
It's called Confessions of a Casting Director, right?
Yeah, so the book is published by HarperCollins. I forgot to mention this is actually more exciting than anything else was when my book got to be published. And it's published by HarperCollins. It's also a podcast. I was doing episodes during COVID. So there's at least 25 episodes that you can listen to, and most of them are about voiceover. But it sounds like I'm dishing on like who sat on the couch, but the truth is it's really a how-to. There's a chapter on animation, a chapter on Broadway, a chapter on social media, a chapter on Los Angeles versus New York, with a lot of like Q's and A's and ask the agent and thumbs up, thumbs down, do's and don'ts. So it's a really good resource for actors of all ages, including stage parents.
That's very cool. Let me ask you this. What would you say is your favorite part of being on the casting side of this industry? Your favorite part? If you had to narrow it down to that one magical, and I know it's impossible, but if you had to narrow it down to one, what would it be?
Yeah, it's when you get to actually be on the phone and tell somebody that they got the part. You know,
Right.
normally that's their agent who calls them, but I'll share a great COVID story. It was during COVID and I was casting Dead End Paranormal Park for Netflix animation. And we had done a search for a young Vietnamese American actor. And I put out a notice on Facebook on the Asian American Alliance page, Actors Alliance. And this young man who had just graduated from Elon University. It was between him and 2 other gentlemen, and it was COVID. So this guy, Kenny Tran, was under his sheet with his headphones that came with the iPhone. The second guy had like the full VO studio with like the padded walls like you, Anthony, and all the equipment. The third guy had like an okay setup. And who do you think got it? The guy under the sheet, the most qualified, the most talented, but getting to call this young man and tell him that he was going to be a series regular on a Netflix animated series. And it was like March of 2020. And he went, "You're kidding. You're kidding me, Jen. You're kidding." And I was like, "I'm not." So those are the moments, right? Or you get to tell a 5-year-old that they got the part. Those are the moments of joy versus all the other moments, which is the work and so that never gets old. Telling somebody that they got the part never gets
It is, isn't it? It's the most rewarding part of the industry is lighting up somebody else's life, if you will. I've always got more joy out of that in my entire career too.
Making actors' dreams come true, because ultimately that's your job in casting, is to make the actor's dream come true. But on the flip side, you're also making the director and the writer's dreams come true. You hope to make them come true. That's the hope.
Now, when you cast, and I want to pass it on to my other panelists, I don't want to take everybody's ideas out of their mind. When you cast, people don't understand sometimes the difference between casting the net and actually voice directing. They're kind of two different hats in a lot of cases. So do you ever actually get involved in the actual voice direction versus just the casting and then handing the talent off?
I do. I mean, it depends on what it is. I've cast a number of animated movies that were international productions, and so they did need a US person who could speak English clearly and do the voice directing. And sometimes some casting directors are also voice directors. Some voice directors are also casting directors. They're not mutual necessarily. But, a lot of times we are doing the voice directing, at least initially, certainly before COVID, when you were coming into audition in real life, we would be giving the direction in the room. And now we're doing it over Zoom or giving somebody feedback. But they're different. It's definitely a different skill set. And sometimes a voice director is the best person to come into the project because they're completely objective. They're not the animators, they're not the writers, so they can help elevate the performance. Because 9 times out of 10, the actor doesn't really care so much about the animation. They just really want to know, like, faster, louder, funnier. Am I good? Do you need to hear it again? They don't necessarily need to be brought through all the different storyboards.
Very cool. Me.
Go for it, Stacey.
Oh, I had a question, you noticed. So, Jen, You mentioned that you were around during the time when things went from voice actors to, celebrities, doing the voices and so many things, and we're all aware of, what that's like to hear them today. Um, People have kind of alluded to the fact that that can be its own challenge also because the on-camera actors may very well not be equipped to be able to perform the way we need them to as a voice actor. Do you find that to be true? Is that extra challenging? Is it really just all about the name and then the rest is kind of a struggle, or it
Well,
depends?
I think it's really case by case. It's very hard to know who is going to be good in the voiceover booth, and especially with celebrities, because you can't ask them to audition necessarily. So you're sort of going with God and going, okay, well, the voice sounds like the right voice to come out of the skull of the animal. Let's hope that they can do a good job when they're in the recording studio. You have to remember also, I mean, you all know because you're voiceover people, no hair, no makeup, no co-star. It's you with the music stand and your headphones on, using your imagination and having that energy that can sustain 4 hours in the recording room. And it's not for everybody. So it's hard to say. There are many celebrities who are great. There are some celebrities who are not. We don't know until we try it out. We know that comedians tend to be great. And sometimes they make things funnier when they, bring it to life. A lot of musicians are great in the studio, but may not be great actors. You can coach them. Broadway people we know are good because of the theatrical background. But celebrities, it just depends on the celebrity. I mean, I've worked with so many, and for the most part, they're great. And sometimes they're not. And then you have to really figure out how are you going to get that performance out of them because you're paying them and, they're going to be in your movie. I mean, listen, I wish it didn't have to be celebrity oriented, but we do have to think about the red carpet and selling tickets and the corporate companies that want to see everybody walking at the premiere and things like that. So
That's
And they
funny.
learned through COVID that they have to work.
Yeah.
Just saying. We were working, you weren't. We were working, you. Oh, sorry. Am I saying that out loud? Bev, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Hi, Jan. Nice to meet you. I have a very quick question, and I think this is for my listeners more than anything. As a casting director, how long of an audition for a voice job do you listen to for an audition before you go, I'm going to listen through later or delete?
Well, I think it's hard to say because I came up interning in the 1990s, where there was no internet really till later on in the late 90s, and we
Right.
were seeing actors in person. So I come by very old school, I care about the actor. I want them to do a good job. So on the one hand, now we're in this digital curate your own audition age, right? Where you're your own director, editor, casting director, almost because you're trying to make sense of your own audition before you send it in. In the olden days, there were no MP3s. You came into the studio and we worked with you, and then we said, you know what? I've done years of campaigns for Charmin and Home Goods and Porsche and all those commercial campaigns where we did it all in person in the
right.
audition studio. So I would choose, okay, you know what? I'm going to delete that first take. Let's do the second one. And usually by the third take or the second take, that's the one that you send. Now it's like all crazy because you can all be at home at 2 a.m. doing it. So I really stress to actors that it's important to have a great happy slate that sounds like you on a good day and just be you and give a good take. And most of the time it's about pacing. So making sure that your pacing is good. I'll listen, but it's also hard because we're listening on our phones, we're listening on the subway, we're listening in the car. So the listening is very different than how it
Right.
used to be in
Yep.
the 90s and the early aughts where there was a CD or there was a cassette tape and FedExed it to the ad agency. Now everyone's listening and also sort of making dinner and doing other things. So the attention span has gotten really short. But I pride myself on being sort of from the old school where I actually care. That being said, we're also getting 1,000 more auditions because everybody can submit because we're not scheduling you at 10-minute increments during our day like we
Yep.
used to. So there's pluses and minuses for both. But I listen, but I also can tell after the slate whether or not I want to continue listening.
Oh,
Mhm.
Good
wow.
point.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Exactly.
answer. Really good
Great
answer.
answer. And
Peter.
thank you for, okay.
Oh,
Then
go ahead.
Peter
That's
goes.
all.
Debbie,
I'm going.
do you want to go first?
I thought I was in charge of the segment. I was going to take it.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
go
I was
ahead.
I
peppering you.
just wanted
Go
to
ahead, Deb.
talk. Actually, first of all, I used to be a casting director as well, and I've never really heard of any casting who said they wanted it at the age of 12. So that is amazing. I just think that's a really cool story to know that you wanted it, and I love that you take pride in being a casting person who cares, because I think that I spent a lot of my time teaching, the slates and things like that, and I felt someone needs to care, not just watch them make these mistakes. mistakes and help them. So
Well, that's
I
why
thank you.
that's why I wrote the book, because I
I
was
love it.
actually, looking for a new Ariel for Little Mermaid on Broadway, and I was in 6 cities, open calls, and I kept seeing these young women walk in and make mistakes of the wrong dress, the wrong song cut. And I said to my boss, Tom Schumacher at the time, I think I really want to write this book to help them. And he said, you absolutely should, make sure
Yeah.
that Disney comes off in a good light, but yes, put in all the advice that you don't have time to tell an actor.
And it's such a gift. So I recommend, even though I haven't read the book myself, which I will, I recommend everybody that's the word of mouth you need to hear from. You need to hear from the trials, the errors, the mistakes we make as actors that are very remembered, things, how we approach you, things like that. What I wanted to talk to you about, which I think is important to talk to every casting director about, is what are your trends? What are you seeing right now for trends that we should be looking towards and thinking of? I think you take on a lot of genres here. So, maybe more specifically in animation or something. Are you seeing different trends right now? What do you suggest for us?
Well, I mean, everything is animated, which is like the name of the classes I teach, if you go to jenrudin.com, like, because I kept saying that during COVID, I kept going, well, everything's animated. I feel like it's like more than just a genre right now. So many things pivoted during COVID and became animated because it was the only way to make art at the time, as we all know. I mean, I was the busiest agent at ICM during COVID because I was working in voiceover. There was nothing else going on. So animation is big. I think it's just really important to understand what genres are casting, to ask questions when you get the copy. So I try to give as much information as I can when I'm sending out auditions, but of course there's so much confidentiality. But like preschool is so completely different than adult animation, is completely different than sci-fi, is different than a scripted podcast. So I think it's just important to know what the genre is when you're getting that actual audition, so that you also know like who's watching the show. Like if it's Bluey or Super Kitties for like 3-year-olds, that's going to be a very different villain than if you're doing a villain for like a Pixar movie, because it's just what's the genre, and try to really get specific, because there's so much out there. So you have to really know like, oh, okay, Super Kitties. I just, I mean, have that in mind. I'm a stepmom and I have a 4-year-old grandson. So it's like Bluey and Super Kitties, like watching that through his eyes is really interesting, because that's a very different thing than watching Bob's Burgers, or something else
Are
that's
you seeing
adult.
a lot more realistic performances now in animation versus
So
what
I
we were
think it
before?
just really depends on what it is, the real
Yeah,
voice. But
of
a
course.
Saturday morning, auditioning for Super Kitties or SpongeBob is going to be a very different voice than auditioning for Bob's
Yeah,
Or
for
Adult
sure, of course.
Swim or whatever. Yeah.
Now, Peter,
Yeah.
did you have a question for Jen?
Yes, for people new to the business, the hierarchy of things, I got to directly sell this particular group, send out emails and try to connect, maybe get an agent, and then casting directors. Where do you fall in this hierarchy so people can understand what they need to do to get themselves out there and get themselves heard?
Yeah, well, I used to write a column for Backstage called Speakeasy. Back when the book came out, Confessions of a Cast Director came out, I was doing a monthly column, and I was interviewing a lot of actors, and I always like to share that Anthony Mendez, who was the Jane the Virgin Latin lover narrator, what he said to me, we were talking, and he said if I could tell my younger self, I would wait a little bit before I like spent money on the demo. Like I think we have to just like wait and get the training in, because I feel like everybody's like,
Right.
I have such a great voice for voiceover, and I'm like, that's very nice of you to think, but if you spend time in the studio with, Kenan Thompson and Lewis Black and Amy Poehler and watched what they did, you'd see how hard it is. So just to kind of have some perspective, for casting directors, I feel like it's good to meet us. Actors Connection is a good place to meet casting directors. A legit place to meet a casting director, right? There's a lot of places out there that want to, take your money, but meeting the casting directors and gaining us, having us become fans, right? Gaining fans. That's like somebody says it in the book. One of the agents is like the first like part of your career is like gaining fans, so the casting directors know you and can depend on you and will start to call you in for stuff, and then you're broadening your horizons. But I think rushing into everything right away is not great for actors. I think it's nice to figure out what you want to do, and like we can't do everything, we're not great at everything even though we think we are. We have to really know what our skill set is. If you say you're bilingual, you better speak Spanish. I've tested that in auditions. If you say you're of Scottish descent, be of Scottish descent. Don't just, you can't make stuff up. But I think a lot of actors are so excited to get into it. They think they can do everything. And it's really hard. And then the other thing I would say about casting directors is, write to us, share the news when you have something to say. So in the olden days at the casting office, actors would send postcards with their headshot. and report in, like, just booked a Burger King commercial. And I would go through my mail at lunch in between auditions and go, oh, that's so great. Stacy just sent me, oh, I should bring her in for this commercial. Right when you have something to say, not just the general thing. And the other thing I would say about corresponding, whether it's an agent or with a casting director, is proofread everything. I've gotten so many emails where people comment on Shrek was such a great movie, and I'll say, yes, but I worked at Disney. I didn't work at DreamWorks. Like, if you would research like on the internet and look at my credits, or you're copying and you're pasting, from another correspondent to another person, like, don't do that. Like, proofread. Like, you have one chance. My father always says, to like, one chance to make a good first impression. So, make a good first impression, and do your research, like, so that you don't do stupid things. Like, say that to me, because then I'm going to be like, you're dumb and not professional, to act like you're a professional.
So, Jen, we're hoping you'll stick around. We have a lightning amount of email questions that we're going to answer in this next
I can
block.
stick
I
around.
think
Sure.
one of them, they're really great for you. I know Stacy has one more quick little question, and then we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stacey.
And Jen's book is available on Amazon. That's where I got it. Super affordable, super accessible. And I just want to say, when you find voiceover talent, are you normally going through agents and agencies and all this type of thing for your casting?
I mean, it depends on the project. First of all, we don't, everything's so confidential and I learned this from being at Disney for all those years, you don't want a piece of artwork to get out, leak out.
Yeah, NDAs,
concept
big time.
art. So NDAs are very big. So we're very secretive about things. And most of the time, what we're casting is for Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever, whoever it is, and we're just going to write untitled streamer project because that's the safest thing. So just depends on what it is, Stacy. Like, when I was digging deep for this role for Dead End Paranormal Park on Netflix, like, I was like casting for trans characters and this Vietnamese American guy and Native American. Like, so it depends on what the role is and how. I like to do grassroots and dig deep. I mean, I used to go around New York City finding guys for Bashal commercials with my video camera in the early 2000s, right? That's how we did our casting, real people, right? A lot of real person casting. So it just depends. And if it's something more high end, that's going to be, I'm doing a project now for Nat Geo and BBC that's a little bit more curated towards the celebrities. That'll come out in 2026 at some point. I can't name the title yet, but like, so that stuff doesn't have to be pounding the pavement. So it depends. Most of the stuff I put out will be on Casting Breakdowns and Actors Access. I just don't have time to be on all the different websites because it's just too much work. So if anybody's a legit actor, they've got an Actors Access profile. And, in the back of Confessions of a Casting Director, there's a bunch of resources, and that's one of them, because that and Backstage, I'm sort of set. I'm really very loyal to Backstage. They've been good to me over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was some of my most fun stuff in film casting, was finding those parts that are really difficult to find. That's some of the fun, I think, that there is in casting. Okay, we're going to take a very short break, and we're going to be still with Jen Rudin when we come back, guys. That's awesome. Stay tuned. You're listening to VO Radio.
VO Radio is sponsored by...
Somebody has to be the best in the business.
Elevate your voice with NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. As a nonprofit association, NAVA is dedicated to the advocacy and protection of all our voices and for championing the equitable advancement of the voice acting industry. Visit the website at navavoices.org today. NAVA, together they can protect the future of voice acting and make our voices heard.
Introducing Vogue 79.5, a special digital-only edition created for the end of the VO convention year, and it's available free at thevogue.com. Discover it all and exclusive deals just for the VO community. From our Vogue family to yours, happy voicing.
Hey, y'all. This is Ali Chef here with events and happenings. March 30th is the Audio Publishers Association Conference, and it will be held virtually. Tickets go on sale January 5th. It's a wonderful event, especially if you are in the audiobook world. A lot of opportunities to connect with fellow narrators, as well as those working on the other areas of the industry. So check that out. Again, that is March 30th. And go to the audiopub.org website to find out more. Vocation, vocation, vocation. Vocation is happening April 23rd through 26th, a conference for the business of voiceover in a paradise. That's right. It is completely dedicated to the business side of voiceover. Go to the Vocation website to find out more. Well, y'all, much love. Catch you on the flip side.
Have a voiceover related event coming up? Let Ali Chef at VO Radio share it with listeners.
Hey, y'all. Ali, Chef here with Events and Happenings. Share your own events and happenings that you would like us to share with the VO world.
Just fill out the event form located on our website using the events link on the navigation menu. And we'll add it to our events calendar feature broadcast daily on VO Radio. VO Radio, helping your next event succeed.
Hi, Peter Drew here, professional blabbermouth for several decades. I'm a seasoned voice actor and VO coach, which means I'm not quite old as dirt, but I've been around the block a few times. So whether you've got a face made for radio, like me, or you're one of the beautiful people, if you have a voice and you want to learn how to use it as a voice actor, check out Hot Mic here on VO Radio. You can connect with me at peter@peterdrewvo.com.
Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. Interact with the show by texting 970-682-3424 or email your question to the show using the app email icon, radio player window, ask a question button, or send an email to ask@voradioonline.com. Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. It's here for you. Okay, welcome back to the show, and we are lucky enough to still have our VIP guest, Jen Rudin, here with us, and she's going to hang out to the end of the show and get to hear the Audition Underground, which is super exciting, and we have that coming up in a minute. Amber Bath is our Audition Underground person, and how fun, Amber. Little did you know by participating in this that Jen Rudin would hear your audition.
How's that? Yep.
That's amazing. A little bit later in the segment, we have Who Are You, where we have our listeners direct a question toward us panelists, a personal question to find out a little bit more about us. So we have that coming up. And don't forget, we have our encore shows that you can hear on VORadioonline.com every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you miss it on a Monday or Wednesday, you just hear it the next day. So let's do the Audition Underground.
This is Richard Nichols. I just wanted to thank you for the feedback that you provided for me on Underground Audition. Sometimes you forget that following the directions is really what the whole thing is all about with regard to casting directors. It's easy to forget, and it's good to be reminded of it. I was also interested to note that everybody found that my voice was suited to narration, which is what I do 95% of the time. So thanks a lot for the help. I'm going to put it into practice right away. I just found you recently, and I look forward to becoming a regular listener. You provide a really important service, particularly for those of us who aren't located in major media markets where we get a lot of regular feedback. It's something that's really, really welcome. Thanks again.
Every voiceover talent, from beginners to intermediate to veterans, want to have feedback on their audition. This can be a very costly endeavor. VO Radio has just the solution with our Audition Underground. Here's another voiceover talent brave enough to enter the Audition Underground zone on VO Radio.
All right. So if you are watching live on YouTube, hello out you're in the live land, or you're watching live on the VORadioonline.com live Tubies page, you're catching the show. If not, yes, we had a little technical glitch, and our guest, our VIP, is in the house with us today. Jen Rudin can understand because she's actually in New York, buried in 18 feet of snow, whatever. So unfortunately, the live broadcast is not live. You are watching us. You're lucky because the live show is going to be encored tomorrow. So if you want to spread the word to your downline or your upline or your contacts or whatever, the encore of the show will be broadcast tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time, like I said a few minutes ago. So meanwhile, it's time for the Audition Underground. And Amber Bath is brave enough to let us give her a little feedback. And she is very lucky because, like Stacey was saying, you got a world-renowned casting director going to give you some feedback. So here we go. Amber Bath, this is your shot at the BF Goodrich, believe it or not.
Amber by Eth. You know, the things that go bump underneath your truck are downright scary, which is why you need some monsters of your own. BF Goodrich light truck tires are big, they're tough, they're fierce looking. Off-the-shelf BF Goodrich tires have won more major off-road races and rock crawling championships than any other. So visit your BF Goodrich Tires retailer and turn your truck into a monster truck. Call 1-877-BFG-TIRE or visit www.bfgoodrichtires.com. Put some monsters under your bed. BF Goodrich Tires, take control.
All right, so there you go. So she enunciated it correctly and pronounced the name correctly. All you French Canadian people know it. It's, what is it? Amber Bailly, not Bath. It's my people. That's it. You're fired. Anyways, it's Bailly, believe it or not. Weird. I caught that. So here we go. We're going to roll a second time. Then we're going to start with some feedback. So here we go, Amber. Let's give it a second take for you here on Audition Underground.
Amber by Eth. You know, the things that go bump underneath your truck are downright scary, which is why you need some monsters of your own. BF Goodrich light truck tires are big, they're tough, they're fierce looking. Off-the-shelf BF Goodrich tires have won more major off-road races and rock crawling championships than any other. So visit your BF Goodrich Tires retailer and turn your truck into a monster truck. Call 1-877-BFG-TIRE or visit www.bfgoodrichtires.com. Put some monsters under your bed. BF Goodrich Tires, take control.
I think that's one of the best ones we've had so far. I don't know about anybody else, but I think that was a great read. Lots of energy, playfulness, change-ups. Let's go right to you, Jen Rudin. What do you think? What's your thought on that?
Lots of fun, and lots of fun. Regular voiceovers have really changed though, Amber, over the years. And so now it's a little less silly, a little bit more cash, talking to your best friend, talking to another mom, talking to your neighbor. And so the only thing I would say is to keep all that likability in your voice, but just bring it down a little bit, a little less commercial and, as I call, a little less silly, a little bit more real. And that's honestly, even if you were watching the Olympics and you were listening to all the commercials and the Super Bowl, it's much more real these days than sell of the 1980s. Those are the ones that I did. Duncan Hines cookies, Duncan Donuts, like over the top stuff, but everything's a little bit more pulled back. So taking all that great likability, but just pulling it back a little.
Good stuff. And I've heard that say in the business, right? It's overacting. You know what? Overactor. What was that end of Liar Liar with Jim Carrey? Overactor. And I think that what the trend was that Deb was hinting to earlier, trends going out there. So go right to you, Deb. What do you think? What's your thought on that? Piggyback.
Yeah, so I wrote down, so first of all, I loved your opening line. It's actually one of my favorite for the opening lines because you didn't just go for scaring us with the monster, which is the obvious thing to do. You use sarcasm and playfulness a lot, which I really love. You've got a mom voice. And so if you're a mom voice and you're talking about BF Goodrich tires, just consider, where does the mom voice sit in that? Like, which level of mom should I be for this one? I loved a lot of what you did, but when you said tough, when you said the word tough, I would have loved a more tougher read, which could have been less, but still tougher, because you did the scary nice with some really good sarcasm. But when you said tough, it was all sugary and saccharine, and that's not tough. So that's a fussy direction because, you have a really nice commercial voice. There's no question. I just wanted to say, Jen, so one of the things that I'd been seeing, because I really pay attention to commercial trends especially, is we went to what I call the Billie Eilish read the last couple of years, which, I just got out of bed. It's on Spotify and I usually get it. It was really wonderful. I love it.
My coffee.
And now I'm listening to the old broadcaster being brought back with a twist. So I'm hearing a little more of the sugary, just not as bright as she's going, obviously. And we're always told to go a little bit bigger so you can take us down. I agree with Jen, by the way, wholeheartedly on this, because your sarcasm is actually where you got me. So keep playing with that side of you when you're doing this and this. And that'll give you a little bit more of that less, and probably the right mom who has a bunch of hockey boys. I'm a tough mom. I've got this tough, I've got this. That's just my 2 cents. I thought it was nice otherwise.
Hard
Some
love,
nice
good
voice.
constructive
Really nice
stuff.
voice.
Good. Yep. Good stuff. There you go, Amber. Go to Peter Drew on this one. Peter, what's your thoughts, man?
I think both Jen and Deb covered it pretty much. I mean, not much more you can say. The sarcasm, as you mentioned, that scary thing before we coached people, you should be a little more scary at the beginning with these terrible things, and then solve the problem with your solution that comes through the little story of the copy. But the sarcasm does work. I like that, and it is awfully bright, as Jen said. She's a little over
Yes,
the top,
a little
and
over top.
yeah, a little over the, but and again, certain keywords like tough or some of the other words. It, bring the emotion of that word out a little more. But
Exactly.
there's not much more to say.
That's true. And I like to tell people when I'm directing and coaching and whatever have you, don't be afraid to use any expressive words. The express words should sound like they are meant to sound if they're mean, if they're hot, if they're happy, so don't be afraid to play with that, but don't go for it over the top. Bev, Standing, what's your thought? Anything?
I don't know that I have a whole lot new to what these experts have said.
Yeah.
The only thing that, if I was going to be nitpicky, is the rhythm from top to bottom didn't end. The energy started, it stayed through the whole thing, and it ended all that. And so if I wasn't really listening, nothing caught my ear, if that makes sense.
So we're kind of saying it was way too much roller coaster, right? Too up and down all the way through.
Well, no, not necessarily, but it's just if I was looking away and not really listening, nothing grabbed my attention. It was a great read. I loved it. But, we've listened to all these other men doing these reads and
Exactly
doing
right.
this deep, car spot kind of thing. And it works. And so with this, it was very different, but it was that same energy throughout the entire read right until the end. And you go by with maybe one word that I went, oh, but that would be the only thing to me, is that just some variety in there somewhere with an emotional word and emotional expression, something that just brought it in a little more personal for her. I remember I've got these tires, I've got to get whatever, but I didn't get drawn in. I just listened.
Nice. Awesome. Everything we're saying, I think, comes back to what Jen was saying. So, Jen, you hit it out of the park on this one. Stacia Barrow?
Absolutely. I always have something to say. Amber, this is a great fresh take again versus the more macho types of reads that we tend to hear. Super nice texture to your voice. I love that. It feels really great to listen to you. And I'm a daydreamer. So when I start drifting for a second, it was like after the first second, kind of like what Bev said, but just maybe because the cadence, because you started off with like a lot of super pep. And then maybe you could build up to that to lead me somewhere in the journey. And I love the way you said monster. I loved that.
May I make
Good job.
one last point? Talk about that real read, the conversational thing. Several years ago, when I first started the conversational thing started coming on, I heard a national, I think it was a pharmacy ad, and it sounded like they just literally, excuse me, dragged a secretary, sorry, office assistant
Little
from
too
that,
casual.
and she was so low key. It was, I mean, I'm listening to this ad going, because I'm in the business, so I'm going to listen to the ad. It was so dull. She went too far. They went too far the other way. There's a balance between that overacting and that real. It's got to be just a little larger than life to keep your attention, because most people don't talk the way we talk in ads. But
so funny.
there's a balance there.
That's so funny you say that, because that brought back a memory from years ago when I was working with the Peanuts crew. The guy that took over for the late great Bill Melendez, he said to me, she sounds like her give a damn's busted. Have you ever heard that song? And it rings a bell. If you're too plain and flat, your give a damn's busted. And that stands out to this day, man. You just triggered a way back memory there. Hey, there you go. Great stuff. Amber, hope that is good, hard love, constructive feedback for you. If you want to be part of the Audition Underground, there you go. That's what you're going to get. Send in any of the new scripts on the website. We'll check out your audition here live, and we will give you some good, hard love feedback. It's all meant to be paying it forward like we always do here at Let's Talk VO. That's what it's all about.
Frankie, I
VO
wonder if
Radio
we can get
24/7.
Jen. Sorry to interrupt you. I wonder if we can get Jen to tell everybody how to look for Jen's workshops or books and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get that for sure. So you can send that through, and we'll definitely take care of you on the Audition Underground. Meanwhile, we're going to do the Who Are You next. But meanwhile, I do want to come back to what you're talking about. Jen, where can people find you and buy your book and all that stuff? I know
Sure. JenRudin.com. I'm pretty basic. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram at RudinJ is my handle, but that's mostly like running pictures and scenery. And I do live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I don't live in New York City anymore. It's been a while. My stepdaughter and moved here. Her husband's from here. We got our grandkids here. So I actually commute a lot to LA because there's a direct flight from Santa Fe now, and also go back to New York. So yeah, my Instagram is mostly filled with like running. I'm a marathon runner and hiking photos. So jenrudin.com is the place. You can find links for the podcast of Confessions of a Castrator. You can buy the book. You can send a note and say hello. So that's the best way to communicate.
Rudin.
Yeah, like
Everybody
Scott
knows.
Rudin, Scott Rudin, but no relation. So
jenrudin.com. Hold on the book one more time for everybody watching.
Sure. I just realized I'm not matching. Usually I would wear red. For the book.
Pink's
I wanna
close
clash
enough.
with my
For all
book
of us that
cover.
are colorblind, pink works great. So,
Thank
hey,
you.
we're going to do quickly,
Thanks so
who
much.
are you? And then we're going to wrap up. So here we go into that.
What's the key to being a successful voiceover? Well, it's twofold. Acting with your unique and authentic being, and marketing. Be consistent with growing and honing your skills to beat out the AI monster we're all facing, and marketing. The million-dollar question is, how do you master these skills? Of course, you hire a good coach who's been in the biz, who's been down this road, and can help you avoid pitfalls and rabbit holes. I'm Diana Birdsall, coach and voice actor. Get in touch at diana@dianabirdsall.com.
Here at VO Radio, many of our listeners write in asking questions about our contributors and panelists. Listeners just like you want to ask, who are you? Here's another question sent in by one of our listeners just like you, asking, who are you to our panelists and contributors? This is VO Radio. It's here for you.
All right. I think that's what, Bev? Opening
Oh,
there?
that's me. That's me.
that's
I'm
all right.
muted.
Welcome to
Hey,
live
everybody.
radio, folks.
I'm so good at this stuff. Okay, we have Mark from Austin, Texas. He is asking our crew here today, what was your first car? So let's go right around the table, but I'm going to go to Russell first because you know what? Russell, you haven't said anything today, and you're such a dedicated participant.
Oh, thank you.
Or intern.
My first card was a Ford Taurus, and it was horrible. The left front tire literally ripped right off the car.
Was it a beater?
Yeah, it kind of was.
Oh dear. Stacy, what about you?
1991 Ford Escort, hatchback, white. There you go.
That's pretty easy. Peter.
A 1968 Oldsmobile Jetstar 88 I inherited from an aunt I never knew.
Wow.
Really?
That's
Yes.
class.
And,
God.
and I ended up in an accident in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, on my way back from college to my home in New Jersey. And I'm sitting in Jim Thorpe at 2:00 in the morning because I had done a show on the radio in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And I'm just sitting there, and the only car on the road behind me was the town drunk, and he ran into me.
Oh, wow. That's a story to tell.
That was
Oh
lovely.
my goodness.
Anyway.
Jen, can we ask you the same question?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in New York City in Manhattan, so I did not have my own car till I moved to Los Angeles and I was 30. I had a black Honda Accord 2002, which I loved. But keep in mind, and I talked a lot about it in the book, I was a new driver. I mean, I had a driver's license from college, but I'd never driven. So here I am at age 30. It's Los Angeles. I'm head of a department at the Walt Disney Company, head of the casting department, but I was more afraid of like, how am I going to drive and and park than I was about running the department. So needless to say, this was before Waze and Lyft. I mean, it was the Thomas guide. It was a tough time, but I learned so much. And now, obviously, living in New Mexico, I just have a fabulous Subaru Outback Wilderness Blue.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because in LA, it's like the car you drive when you're an executive at a studio is a very big deal. And here in New Mexico, it's like, there's just no point because it's like, there's dirt, there's, wind there. So now it's more about safety, I think, than LA, where I
Right.
ended up with a BMW X5 at the end of my years in LA. I mean, I went from the Honda to that. And anyway, it's just a car.
That is so cool. Oh my
Deb, what
God.
about you?
First of all, you couldn't have picked the two busiest cities in all of America to actually learn to drive in. Number one, funny, I'm hitting the Ford wagon. I had a Ford XL, but is this before driver's license or after? Because I didn't have
Right?
my
Is this
driver's
illegal
license.
or
I should
legal?
not have
Right.
been driving it at the time at all. It was bad. So I had a Ford XL. And then when I really had a driver's license, I had a Dodge Aries. Yeah.
Those things ran forever, man. Those
My mom gave it to me for $1. I was so happy. Yay.
You gotta watch the time here. Anthony, what did you drive?
I drove a 1972 Chevy Camaro, believe it or not. And it was my pride and joy, all tweaked out as you can imagine. I bought it from some guy. It took me a year and a half to purchase it from him. Is all pretty much rebuilt, beautiful car, black and white, awesome JBL system, the whole works and everything. And about a year and a half after I had it acting like an idiot, what did I do? I totaled it. So long story short is I cried the blues. Thank God I still have pictures of it. But yeah, that was the early days of being able to work on, all of us young guys know, and a lot of women these days know, when we could work on cars with ease back in those days. You could change everything yourself. Nowadays, forget it. But there you go.
How about you, Bev?
Well, I took my father with me because when you go to buy a used car, women didn't know anything about cars back in the 70s. So I took my dad with me, and I ended up getting an AMC Hornet. No, they don't make those anymore. They didn't make them much longer after I bought it. It was orange, just like the bees. And the first time I took it away for the weekend, I turned the car off and the horn didn't shut off. But it had an 8-track.
An 8-track.
Crank the tunes. That's all you need to do.
It could have
I
been
went
worse. It
from
could have
that
been a
to a
pacer.
Honda Accord or
It could have
Honda
been
Accord
worse.
hatchback. It was great.
Could have been worse. It could have been a pacer.
Oh, remember them? Oh my God.
Or Pinto.
Hey, that was a great Who Are You from Mark and Awesome. Thank you so much. You can send yours through to an email. Stacy, final thought on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had our station contributor, Tony Raimondo, text in and say his was a 1964 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88. Hand me down from his pops. Okay, just had to include
Wow.
You're older than
Okay,
my
Tony.
car.
Great
Cool
show.
stuff. That wraps it up, folks. Listen to the Encore tomorrow afternoon. Tell your network about the Encore tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then again, every Encore's Tuesday and Thursday. And if you're going to listen to it, watch it live as well on demand on YouTube and here on Live Tubi. That's it. We had a very great VIP today. I can't believe how much information I did not know about you. It blows my mind, the level of success you've had and what you've done for this industry in a whole. Thank you so much for everything you
Thanks. It was
contributed
so
to the
fun, everybody. Great to
Jen
meet you.
Rudin. Check out the website.
Guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
and again, the name of the book is again, Jen.
Confessions of a Casting Director. Yep.
There you go. JenRudin.com. Go ahead and check it out. That's it. We'll see you but again next time here on Let's Talk VO. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to VO Radio and Let's Talk VO. Now we will return you to programming already in progress.